All right, we're on our trip, road trip, and our goal is to leave California as a family. There's 6 families, plus there's probably another 10 families that are like family that want to leave too. So we've hit the road. We've gone to Texas already, which we'll have a video posted about that, but it's been an amazing adventure. So right now we're in Utah. We're staying in Orem, which is a neat city, right outside of Provo, which is actually one of the top cities to raise a family in the country. So we're going to kind of do a breakdown of the different cities that we're going to visit today, because our whole goal is get out of California. We need a little bit more elbow room, a place that is not in the city but close enough to the city. You got Salt Lake City is not far from here, so you got the conveniences of that. So anyway, we're here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to go through a list of the places that we're going to visit today.
Okay, so we'll start from south going north. The 15 freeways goes up and down. Salt Lake City is up here, Provo's down here, and then you have cities in between and cities north and south. So we're gonna start from south going north. We'll start with Santa Quin. Santa Quin is the furthest recommended going south. It's more of a rural town, has a main street with food, gas, and groceries, but the rest of the town is homes and farms. It is developing and becoming a popular destination for those who don't mind a little bit of commute for work. Most of the developments have larger acreage and larger homes for less money.
All right, so that's Santa Quin. Do you know how far that is from Salt Lake? An hour, maybe?
I'd probably guess maybe an hour to hour and 15.
Okay, so about an hour and 15 from Salt Lake. So if you want those things, do you know if it has a downtown?
It is more of a rural town. It has a main street.
Okay, does have a main street. So that's important to me. I want a main street.
Small town feel probably.
There's a lot of like smaller towns that are popping up, but it's just houses. There's nothing else there. I don't mind being out a little bit from the city, but I want something, if we want to go to a restaurant or you want to go to a little grocery store or something, that's what I want. I don't want to have to travel to the daily conveniences. So
this is more made for retirees who don't have kids, just want to sit down and have acreage and land and relax. Next, going up the list a little more north, is Payson, Elkridge, and Salem, 3 different cities right next to each other. Remarkably, they're all similar towns. They have some good business districts, but still maintain rural type of feel. Elkridge sits on the hillside, so you get incredible views, but it has a little more of a commute than to others. Salem is known for the city pond and its outdoor activities. Payson is closest to the freeway and gets you easy access to everything. Also, is more developed than the other areas. Again, with all three of these cities, you'll get a little more bang for your buck.
So one of the things is, my mom last night, like at midnight, texted me and said, "Hey, look into Payson." So just so you know, so right now there's 6 families here, actually more than 6 families. Right now we have there's about 8 families right now that we're going to be going out today from the different cities. So that's actually Frankie over there on the back. They're going to meet up with us in just a few. So you have another one of the families. So this is where there's 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl, and then we have a bunch of other people, my parents as well. So they're just going to do a little bit of exercise while we do the hard work.
So next we have the list. Again, in Payson as well. Payson's a more popular one. That's where my mom wants to check out. Lots of acreage, lots of land, really cheap. I guess it's in the foothills. You can go hiking. You can go hiking in the mountains, camping. It's kind of away from everything, but the closest small city to the freeway. And then coming up a little bit is Woodland Hills. This is a hidden gem in the mountains. It really is known for its mountain feel with easy access to everything. Views are $1 million views, and the lots which the homes are built on are incredible. They don't have a single business based out of the city, so you end up going to surrounding towns to get food, gas, and other store-bought items.
Kind of like what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it is worth it for the views and the feeling of being secluded.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know any price range?
I don't. I also saw before on something else doing research that Woodland Hills had a lot of empty land you can actually build houses on. So buying a house or just buying land to build a house on.
So right now, where we're at, I mean, it seems like even these small little cities, they're just building like crazy. I mean, they're building high density area. Like, so for instance, they're doing kind of like when you get off the freeway, sometimes you had to travel to it, but now it seems like these tiny little towns that you had to travel to are connected all the way to the freeway. So now there's a lot more shops and stores and like apartments and townhomes and stuff like that too.
Tons of building here. Yeah. Spanish Fork. Actually, my father went to kindergarten in Spanish Fork 60 years ago. Is one of the more established areas. It has a Costco, In-N-Out, various other amenities of a larger town. Most of the homes are in a little tighter quarters with some great amenities. It's a good mix of larger homes and smaller homes. It can come across as more of a suburb to major cities, and some areas still can have a rural feel with streams in your backyard or little ponds or lakes. You will see a lot of pickup trucks in the area, and one of the main centers for the professional rodeo circuit.
Okay.
Interesting.
So if you like the rodeo, which I've been, and they're actually really cool.
Springville.
We have cousins up in Wyoming, Colby and Amy, and they're in Cokeville, Wyoming, and they send the most beautiful pictures. But one of the things that I saw on their social media the other day was they were at a rodeo. Like, that is really cool.
Springville, actually, you went there yesterday.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Springville is known as Art City, just south of Provo, and has a variety of living circumstances. You can have a home in the mouth of the canyon, on the hillsides, or right off the freeway in a suburb type feel. Prices in the area are starting to go up a little bit, so you can get a larger home for the money in the cities that go further north. Has a couple of campgrounds, fishing streams, and a lot of areas dedicated to art. They have an art gallery, and it put up a lot of money into growing the infrastructure, which has brought more established businesses and shopping options that haven't been here in the past.
So one of the things I saw about Springville is that the new houses that Ryan just talked about that are popping up, they were cheap. I mean, they were like brand new houses on a decent sized lot, and they started in the low 300s. That was insane. And they're beautiful houses in a nice little area.
And I believe it has a downtown too, right?
It does have a downtown, and it's a city that's been there for a long time. So we have family, I guess that you could say, really good friends there, the Newberries, and they were actually born and raised there, and they've been there, for 70 years. So, he said he was born in 51, so it's close to that anyway, high 60s. But it was incredible. They showed us he had one of those razors. It was street legal. So yeah, we were riding around. It still had all your conveniences of the stores in the downtown, but it also had there was a lot of places were like horse properties, and they had like sheep and stuff like that. And so a lot of people had animals, which was really cool.
Next is Mapleton. This is a unique little area.
That was right next to Springville.
Close to it.
Yeah, right next to it. Yeah.
Very few businesses, but its main attractions is larger lots and lots of new construction. It's a younger city with a lot of big homes. If you choose to visit this area and want to be impressed, there's a few city blocks near the mountainside that have multi-million-dollar homes that are unbelievable. The surrounding homes are nothing to laugh at, as they have been built to the recent trends with a lot of light colors and cool tones. They have a lot of farmhouse style homes as well. They've been popular as of late, and is a little more expensive, but there are areas that can be reasonable in Mapleton.
Yeah, from what I heard is we have another friend there. His name is Eric Ellsworth, and he says that he loves it. It's kind of tucked away, hidden, and he says it's just very safe. It's quiet, very quiet and very safe. Like Ryan said, there's not a lot of business there, but a lot of families, a lot of young families.
Newer city.
Yeah.
Provo. Provo is a popular city. That's Provo and Salt Lake are kind of like main cities that go like north and south. And Provo's, I'll read it right now. Provo being the center for BYU, has a lot going on. BYU is Brigham Young University, a D1 school, huge, great in all sports, popular, and that's where BYU is at, in the heart of Provo. From this point on, going north, you'll see a lot of businesses and industrial property as well as residential options. There's a lot of regulation in Provo based on a rental market, so if you're looking for a property to rent, be cautious to do your research so you don't buy something that isn't a large rental. They have Google Fiber, which is a fantastic option for internet, and while there's not a lot of new construction, you get great value for one-of-a-kind properties. They are a little more expensive than most of the areas, but near the university, Tree Streets, Indian Hills, and Grandview are the most desirable. So I went there yesterday, spent the day there yesterday, had food, had lunch, had ice cream, walked around. Beautiful, right in the hillside, right in the foothills of the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, literally, some of these places that you could literally walk out your backyard and walk up into the mountains within minutes. Mm-hmm. And it was moving. It wasn't quiet. It was a little bit of a busy city.
College town.
But it was still pretty slow. I mean, we're from Southern California, but it's still pretty slow, which attracts me. But again, just real clean, real nice.
Orem, it's right now. Here has Utah Valley University, and it's growing like crazy. Utah Valley University used to be a junior college or a community college, but now they're university as of like 4 or 5 years ago from this video. It has one of the larger malls in the area and has food and shopping options that are incredible. You can get some really great properties that line the mountains or get something a little cozier in developments and smaller lot homes. Properties near the university and the north side, east side are the most desirable. Due to the high density of housing, areas near the mall and main base districts are a little more run down. Vineyard, this is a newer city that has trendy options available. So if you're trendy, Vineyard. can be placed. The main attraction is waterfront living off of the Utah Lake and high-end golf course. The course by the lake, however, the number has a lot of bugs and mosquitoes due to the water. So with that in mind, if you're wanting to be outside in your yard, this is one that you would have to think twice about. The homes on the other side, although, are spectacular and really are high-end. Majority of the homes have open floor plans and have other amenities with parks, baseball, softball, soccer fields, and have a lot of different schooling options. That sounds nice, except for the mosquitoes. Linden/Pleasant Grove. These cities are more mature. You're going to see a lot of older homes which have been fixed up. They have a lot of orchards, farms that were established in older times. They have beautiful housing options near mountainsides, easy access to shopping, and they have a lot of character. These homes are typically a little more expensive. They are in good shape because it is a desirable location. Easy access for commuting and a ton of additional activities for family. That was Linden and Pleasant Grove. Got a few more on the list here. Lehi. I've heard a lot of good things about Lehi, actually. This is the point of the mountain, what it's known here in Utah. From this point further north, you're going to get into Salt Lake County. This is what they call Silicone Slopes, where you have companies like Adobe who have made large headquarters here. There's a good variety of high-density housing and larger lots. The main focus of the area does stay close to the 15, which means easy freeway access, but due to its proximity to the point of the mountain, you get strong winds. There are a lot of different housing options from low to high end. It gets busy, really busy, trying to get on the freeway, as this is a central hub for Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs on the west side, and Alpine, Highland, and Cedar Hills on the east side. So 4 big cities kind of go in the Lehi area for the freeway access.
And it's like a tech area.
Yeah.
Exploding right now, exploding with family. That's why the traffic, problem.
And a friend just said last night that Google and not Facebook, was it Facebook? No, Google and something else just announced like a week ago or 2 weeks ago that they were going to build massive infrastructure here, lots here in Lehi. I guess it's a tech. And I actually have a friend who works in tech who lives in Lehi, and it's tech central up here in Utah, growing like crazy. Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs. So Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs is west of the 15. So you have the 15 freeway. You have the east side, which is more popular, I guess. All the cities going up on the east side, where all the mountains are. And you have cities on the west side of the 15. So it's a little further out, even though it's not too far, but further out. And so if you're on the west side, the homes can be a little cheaper. Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs are on the west side. So you get a little more bang for your buck in these cities. They're a little more barren when it comes to views and really feels a little more like a desert. There are some great golf courses that are great and provide some great views, but it does take a little bit of a drive to get over these areas. They've improved things with dedicated highways to these points, but it's still a bit of a journey. If you're willing to drive through, you get some great homes for great prices. Most of the homes that are in Saratoga Springs have lake views, and the homes in Eagle Mountain have large lots. So a friend of ours lives in Saratoga Springs, bought a house 5 years ago for dirt cheap, and there's communities, just massive communities popping up everywhere in Saratoga Springs, so you can get a fat house for pretty cheap right now.
Remember, this is November 3rd, 2020. And so, this is a lot of crazy things going on this year, 2020. So there's like this mass exodus from big cities, especially big cities that have a lot of lockdowns. They're just going to areas like Utah and Texas and Idaho. So, and that's what we're doing. But we're actually doing what most people don't. We're kicking the tires. We're not realtors. We're just families that want to raise our kids in a nice, safe area with some elbow room.
Yep. We've got 2 more here. 3 more technically. Alpine/Highland. Cities are right next to each other. These cities are like the Hollywood Hills of Utah. Everything is fancy and expensive. With that being said, if you want a high-end home, this is typically where you want to look. Price per square foot is a lot higher in these areas, but you'll notice a difference in these homes versus others. They use high-end finishes and materials that aren't common for the area. They import a lot of goods to these areas as well as for the housing market. A great area for a home, but the price tag stings. So it's like the bougie area. Alpine, I guess, is like the really bougie area. Highland is right next to it, but it's a little more affordable than Highland.
Remember that?
I think Heber's a bit more north than this.
Okay.
Yeah. And then last on this list we have right now is Cedar Hills. It's a bit further east in the hillside, so probably on the mountain hills. Has some great homes. Most of the homes have HOAs tied to them, but really have some great views. Not a lot of business dedicated to these areas either. You're getting a home with a view and a bit of a commute when it comes to personal goods, and that is Cedar Hills.
Okay. So Heber's, I don't know. Did you mention Heber in there?
No, I did
So
not.
Heber's one of the one that caught my eye. I don't know much about these areas. Ryan does. He's done a lot of research, and we've been up here 1,000 times, but never really thought about moving here until, I got 4 kids and, 4 under 8, and just, California is not our speed anymore. But anyway, so Heber was one